and the Saint.
If anybody here is not to it, I'm gonna give you one last chance to walk out that door right now. That's a good one, Todd. Good. That's what I wanted to hear. Because in this silver slice of heaven here are 1,984 ounces of beer. Golden, delicious beer. And no one leaves here until we finish every single last drop.
And we are live. We are back. We are back at the bunker, the AKA downtown Santa Ana Historic District. Today's date is May 16th. The year is 2021. This is episode 79. I'm excited for my guests that are here today to get to know some things that I've always wanted to know. So before I get to them, I just want to give a shout out to all my listeners from around the world. Once again, that tune into this episode, the Raider and the Saint podcast. Thank you so much for your support. I love you guys. Thank you. We're growing fast. Thank you for my past guests, Phil. Thank you for showing up. Yes, we're working on something behind the scenes. Eventually, we're going to get some other content for you guys. So once again, thanks, Phil, for your support. I appreciate you, brother. I love you, man. Once again, like I always do when I try to get straight to this podcast, my guest today is returning guest Mary and her friend Evelyn, a.k.a. the High Priestess. Got it right? The High Priestess. Yeah. Okay. So once again, thank you, Mary, for coming on, and thank you for introducing me your friend. High Priestess, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Hi. Well, my name is Evelyn, but you guys can see me on Instagram as High Priestess Evee. I am a tarot reader, a spiritual worker, and a medium here from Orange County.
You're from all over, dude.
Kind of all over.
Well, tell a little bit about how you got into it. I mean, how'd you get into it?
Well, let's see. I believe that everyone has a gift. We just don't really know what it is yet. I came across my gifts not that long ago. My spiritual awakening, in a sense. And I just kind of went with what felt right. I picked up, some tarot cards. I started learning about them a little bit, and it just kind of took off from there.
Mm-hmm.
And people started trusting me and with, the advice that they needed and all these other
How do
things.
you know you had this gift? Or what made you say, I think I got a gift? Like, I think I got something going here.
I think it was just intuition on its own and just always being drawn to everything spooky and everything like mystical and all these other things from like a small age. I remember the first deck of cards that I bought that was like kind of related to all this stuff was maybe around 7.
Mm-hmm.
And, entertainment helps a lot. So you see Harry Potter, you get really drawn to it and all these things. And you know that it's something in you that's around all this that needs to get more attention.
So you just, how does it work? I mean, how does one come? I mean, I got a lot of questions, and I'm trying to. I want to jump to other things, but I got to make sure we start from the beginning here. So, what does a tarot card reader do?
So what we do, well, every reader is a little different, but basically what I do is I look into your past, your present, your future, see areas of your life where things need improvement, and see places where, you might be taking a wrong turn, or, what you want isn't necessarily what you need. So I kind of help you put yourself on that map back to where you're supposed to be and back.
Can you put the mic a little bit closer to you? I want to make sure we get everything in there. Yes, it's interesting. Perfect. So, how long you been doing it for?
Tarot reading, like actually like reading with my decks and stuff, about 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does someone need to have someone teach them? How does one go about becoming one?
I mean, you could start off by getting a reading yourself, seeking out someone who does readings on their own, and talking to them, being very open and being like, hey, you know what, I think I have like some sort of gift and I would like to expand, and the cards will tell you how to do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Where do you do your? Can you do? Does a person have to be sitting across from you for doing it, or can you do it over the phone, video?
I mean, you can do it in person. I'm like about
How do you do it?
90% of my clients are over the phone.
Okay.
So through DM, Instagram, all those things.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, you could do it over the phone. Because I used to deliver in Tustin. There's one at the corner of Irvine Boulevard and what is that? Irvine and Newport.
Yeah.
There's one right there, and I've seen them driving around. And me being born a Christian, I was born a Christian. My parents raised me in the Pentecostal church. One thing that was embedded in me was like, this stuff is evil. It's a dark it's devil type stuff. And what can you say about something like that? Because I mean, now that I don't go to church anymore, but I still have my certain beliefs. But I take some things now and be like, well, like there's crystals, right, that help with healing, they help with energy, and scientifically studies show that they actually do things. Yes. And we've been manipulated and blinded, and I seem like pushed, like not knowing like we can heal ourselves through herbs and exercise and vitamins. Like those are nutrients, and they come from rocks. Everything's, there's minerals in rocks. So when people say that, well, why would they say that? I mean, why are they keeping? I mean, obviously a lot of people believe in this stuff, and it does work. I haven't heard anybody come back and say, man, I did the tarot reading, man, and I got this little gnome following me everywhere I go now. Yeah. Because they would say that in church, like, you're opening doors. Yeah, you probably are opening doors, man, but make sure you open the right one.
Yes, of course. Personally, I just think, whenever I come across someone who's like overly religious in that negative sense, because there are, a lot of good religious people out there, but whenever I get those certain types, I always kind of just rebuttal and I ask them, well, how did the indigenous do it? We all come from an indigenous background, whether it's like Vikings and Nordics, or if it's like paganism or anything like that. We all come from a certain background. So how did they do it? How did they get their healing? If there was no cross, if there was no Bible, if there was none of that, how did they heal themselves? And it's all through herbs and natural medicine and all those different things. So as far as like tarot and all those other things, it's, you just kind of have to trust that some tools are made with divine intention. And the same way, a preacher uses, I don't want to say like the Bible, but like just other divination tools. They have their own thing and we have ours, and I just try to be very respectful. I don't push my tarot readings on anyone else.
Yeah, I just don't like how they say those things when, how you guys ain't doing evil work. Yeah. Right? You're doing stuff is like horoscopes and,
Yeah.
We've really dealt with some people that just think that we're doing some devil's work, and it's like, no, we're not doing that. We're using what the stars and stuff, and just whatever the cards play out for you.
So describe how you would, if somebody came and they sat across the table for you, describe how you would do your tarot reading.
So me, myself, I kind of just look at you eye to eye. I try to look at your aura, if there are any lights or colors or orbs around you. Those are spirit guides trying to communicate with you. And then we're across from someone. We pick up their energy. We know if they're sad. We know if they're feeling some type of way, if they really need help or they need clarity about something. And I just kind of use your energy to help me with my cards. I tend to ask for a full name and a zodiac sign, just so I could get an idea of when you were born and, what type of stuff you're looking for, because I work a lot with astrology as well. So I kind of just channel your energy into the cards. I ask my spirit guides to be present and protect the information that is going to be exchanged, protect the energy that is going to be exchanged, and, place a barrier of protection on you as well. Because after you get some confirmation, like let's say of a bad friendship or a bad relationship, I don't know what's going to happen to you. So I ask for protection over you as well. And I just channel all that into the cards, and the cards have never been wrong.
Wow. Who's protecting you? The universe?
I like to call upon my ancestors, so
Okay.
people in my family who have passed away.
Mhm.
I like to call on Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, and I do work with other deities that are a little bit more for the occult. So
Mhm.
I ask them to be present.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm just trying to absorb all this. We're only 10 minutes in. uh, so how many readings have you done so far, you think?
Oh, easily around like the hundreds, so like 400 maybe.
And so you're able to see people's energy and see their orbs, and is that something that was, you felt like that was a gift, or was it more of practice and get into touch of myself, or getting to that point where you're just
I always say that intuition is a muscle. You know, you grow it. You could have a, you know, like you're walking down a dark alley and you get this weird feeling about someone, this
Mhm.
gut feeling, and you just kind of grow from that. And you place all your experiences together and you start noticing patterns and energy shifts and everything. So you're able to tell what kind of person is in front of you without knowing so much about them.
yeah, that's one thing that I've always had was I would when I was on drugs, right? I knew
Yes.
there was something. I'd be driving in my car and I felt like someone was in the car with me. You just feel that presence. Or I've been at my house and hanging out and just like I feel like I would get chills.
Yes.
I'd get my hair standing up and I'm like, well, what is it? So I'd turn music on, the TV on, and sometimes sleep with the TV on because and so I would just leave. Like
Yeah.
I would leave, like
Yes.
hurry up showering, and I could just feel something, and you keep thinking about it, it's getting worse.
Yes.
So you try not to think about it. You're just like, just stay calm, put your clothes on, and then I would just fucking leave. Sign the door. As soon as I left, I was like, fuck, what was that? But then sometimes it wouldn't be there all the time either.
Yeah.
I've had pillows being taken from under me. My daughter said the other day she saw the pillow move, but I think she was high, so I don't know if that can be confirmed. But they said they've seen rock. I mean, it's weird because people would come over the house. Certain people would say they got bad energy.
Yeah.
I would just say that, to myself and say, hey, there's something wrong with them. And sure enough, like for example, family members came over from Mexico, right? Two people, not gonna say boy or girl. I would try to talk with them, and they wouldn't talk with me. They're real timid. I don't know if they were timid or just quiet, whatever. But if the women were around, like there were guys, right? The women were around, like my lady or her mom or her sister, they would talk. They would just constantly talk. But when I would try to, be
Yes.
cool with them, they're visiting. Nothing. As soon as they left, weird shit started happening. Rocks were getting thrown across the hallway and stuff like that. And I called it. I said, man, they had something. I don't know if they had something lingering. And how would something like that happen to people?
There's attachments.
Attachments, right?
Yeah, like a person who visits a cemetery a lot or even works at a cemetery, you could bring a spirit home.
Mhm.
There's always spirits in like the workplace, when you're going to someone else's house, when you're out and about, you
Mhm.
can just have that attachment if you don't have any protection over you, if you don't recognize that you're a person who needs protection, especially because there's a lot of people who just like walk around and they're like, oh, I'm bothered. But everybody needs some sort of protection, whether it's from mal de ojo, evil eye, or
What's that? Can you explain more on that?
like envidias, like just someone being envious of you and putting bad energy on you.
Oh, they can
Yeah.
do that?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that's first-hand experience.
Yes.
First-hand experience.
Yeah, it's I try to ignore it too. Obviously, on this podcast, you do have haters,
Yes.
right? And I don't. And then one thing I don't do is I don't talk about it. I'm not gonna add more into that energy.
Yeah.
If you don't like the podcast, change the channel.
Yes.
You don't like the YouTube video, change the channel.
Exactly.
I don't need you to sit there and judge and to talk, because they do.
Yeah.
And that's a spirit, right?
Yes. That's
Wow.
that in itself is just bad energy.
Because it's like, yes, bad energy getting towards you.
Yes.
And we have energies, right? We positive or negative, and people could shoot negative energies at you, and it could actually affect you.
Oh, big time. Because like I said, we all have a gift. Like we had a personal experience where someone we knew was extremely negative and constantly throwing the salt on us, and hoping that our plans dissolve, or hoping that, we don't get ahead so that person could get further ahead than us.
Yeah.
We've had that firsthand.
So that enviness, that jealousness,
Yes.
can affect you guys until, I mean, well, even if you just say, hey, we're not talking to this person no more, we're done here.
But that person
Can still,
yeah.
holy shit. How do you protect yourself from that?
Well, when that started happening to us, it was literally a week full of just like these random things that like it kind of felt like Murphy's Law, like what anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Like everything under the sun just happened to us. And we were like, what's going on? Like this isn't us. This isn't something that happens to us. And then we figured out like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
So what can you do to prevent that? Well, what can you do to battle it?
There's people who work with crystals, you know.
Okay.
And I always like to say the bigger the crystal, the bigger the blessing. So you could work with crystals. You could work with like smudging, like Palo Santo, sage, juniper.
I got sage in the, did you see the rocks too?
There we go. Yeah.
You see it?
Protection from
Yeah.
the haters. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's supposed to protect from EMS and then negative energy.
Yes.
Yeah. I used to deliver to a holistic doctor's office, so I know a little bit of stuff about rocks and crystals and stuff like that. So, let me see. I got so many questions. I want to just keep it. Make sure I'm moving in line here. Let's see. So, we got negative energy, right? We got people shoot negative energy at us, and oh yeah, that's what I was gonna tell you guys. I had a friend in high school. It was my lady's friend. She, every time we get in the car, she would get in an accident, or something would happen to her. Like one time, a 2x4, like Final Destination, came through her windshield.
Oh my.
Oh,
and
man.
then weeks, again, get another car, a brick out of nowhere just went in her windshield. And believe it or not, we went on a double date one time, and I almost crashed, rear-ended into a car. Almost rear-end because the traffic backed up on the 5. Slammed on my brakes, and I didn't hit the car in front of me. I was like, I was on it, right?
Yeah.
Car behind me hits me. Boom! Then I get knocked out, and the car I hit into the front car. But she was in the car, and I didn't know till later that every time she gets in the car, there's an accident.
Oh.
Whoa. That's
And then from what I heard, they were playing with Ouija boards.
oh no.
Oh, that's how it starts. Okay.
What do you think about Ouija boards?
Personally, I think that they are a divination tool, just like cards or anything else. But you just have to be very careful. The Ouija board is not something that you can do by yourself. It's something that you need to do with someone who's been working with this tool for a very long time and properly knows how to open these portals. And close them. Yeah.
Like Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had one of my best friends growing up. I knew him since elementary school. His name was Tyrone Wimberly. I remember years. He died. He was like 24. He died at 24. They said he had an enlarged heart. A lot of things were happening to him medically that I don't really know everything about. But he died. He was 24. But I remember he told me a story. We were probably in junior high, maybe 6th grade. And he told me that him and his brother, they had a Ouija board. They were playing with the Ouija board. And whatever it told them, I don't remember whatever it told them, they went and they threw it away. He says they walked back in the house and it's in the closet.
Oh yeah.
He goes,
you
they
can't
burned
get
it.
rid of it.
He goes,
Yeah.
he burned it, and it's in his closet the next day. It would never leave the closet.
Once you ask it a question or anything like that, it's attached to you. Especially if you don't close the portal. It's attached to you. You try to burn it, bury it, whatever, throw it in a lake, it's gonna pop back in your life.
So you got to be really careful of opening. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You're the high priest, and you got to know what you're doing. You don't want to like open up a portal and you're doing whatever you're doing, like Doctor Strange, and then you forget to shut the portal, and that person leaves, and like
Bad
crazy
things
shit
happen.
happens.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, gotta be extremely careful with everything that you do. Because, I mean, there's also other places as well. Like, let's say, someone who has 30 years of experience or so. They read your cards, they see that you're going to become a millionaire. You don't, at that moment, everything changes. You see the honesty behind the spiritual worker now. Because they could easily tell you, oh, you have a lot of misfortune happening in your life. Send me like $5,000 so I can help you out. And they're constantly going to keep putting more dirt on you so that you have a reason to come back. And I see that a lot here. Like, not specifically just Santa Ana, but just a lot in, like, these, like, urban areas where all these people come in and they see that everyone's working, like, minimum wage and, like, they're struggling to make bills me and everything.
And they'll not pay a bill and just give it to the
yeah,
the
give it to the brujo.
that's what they call them, the brujo.
Yeah, they'll give it to the brujo, and they'll be like, yeah, I'll make sure that you get money coming in, and they will, but it'll never just be enough.
That's what I'm saying.
And-
People are so vulnerable
Yeah.
though, especially nowadays.
Big time.
Wow.
It's turned into a trend more during the pandemic that
Oh,
we've seen it like
They call it the Great Awakening, but
Yeah.
there's more to it when they say that.
Yes, the Age of Aquarius.
Yep.
Is that talk a little about that? What is that?
So
the
the
Age of
age-
Aquarius.
I believe it's every millennium.
Mhm.
Not exactly sure how long it is, but we come into a different age of a different zodiac, and the Age of Aquarius is Aquarius in its own is unique, is about spirituality, uniqueness, oneness, being connected with the elements, being connected with the cosmos and everything. So when we step into this age, we step into this age of enlightenment for a lot of people, and a lot of people start coming out of the shadows with people that you wouldn't expect to have, tarot decks, and they expect them to buy crystals. A lot of people start believing in these things now, which can be a turn for the better. But at the same time, a lot of false prophets start coming out, and they start taking advantage of other people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a age of enlightenment, in a sense.
That's where we're in right now, Age of
Yeah.
Enlightenment.
Yes.
And when did that start?
I believe that started like late 2020.
Late
I
2020.
believe, yeah.
And how long does it last for?
I'm not exactly
Really
sure.
sure?
it really
yeah.
just depends sometimes too.
Like, I think it's.
So there's a portal open right now, and it's for. I mean, if you look at it that way, maybe.
I would say look at it astrology, like in an astrology sense, where it's like the positioning of planets and stars are telling us how the next, couple hundred years are going to be, or the next, 20 years, or even the next 2 days,
Yeah, I watched this, or I follow this thing on YouTube. It's the Space Observer or something like that, and he talks about all the magnetic fields and all the plasma being shot by the sun, and they do the readings and all kinds of crazy stuff. I don't understand what he's talking about, but it's interesting,
It's
But when you connect that with the alignment of the planets, and I mean, there's a gravitational pull, and those affect everything, because we only can see what 3D. Well, no, not 3D, but we only have our senses, right?
Yes.
What is it? 5 senses, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Smell, see, but there's other, like, for example, people take DMT, right?
Yes.
A lot of ayahuasca, if I'm saying that, ayahuasca, where they go to the shamans, and it's real popular in South America.
Yeah.
And they'll take these, they'll do a ceremonial, and then it seems like it reveals it takes their veil down, and their veil, that, and you can see. Yeah, you can see what's there. Even though it's there all the time, we can't see it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because we actually produce that DMT in our brain when we
Yeah.
go to sleep. We get a little bit of that. And I believe when you dream. What do you think about dreams?
Oh, I love interpreting dreams.
Oh yeah, she does.
Dude, I love dreaming. I can't wait to go. I was like, I'm going to dream.
Yeah. I like to consider dreams just messages from our spirits and angels, and they don't really have a way of connecting with us where we're going to pay attention. When they can't fully reach us, they send it to us in a dream. And sometimes, you could have like the worst nightmare you've had and wake up in terrors and sweating and everything, but it'll just be a very simple message. But it's because you've been ignoring it for so long that they had to send it to you in the most violent way for you to kind of put things together to be like, what, I need to do this.
Yeah, you just wake up and I can't breathe. And you go to the doctor's like, well, it's because you stopped breathing. You can look at it that way too. Someone's trying to get a hold of me, like, hey man, you should stop doing drugs. You should, you need to change your life, or you ain't gonna wake up one of these days.
Yeah.
I don't have those anymore. I remember I would have something. I'm dreaming like I can't get up, and something's on top of me, and I can't move. And then you try to punch it, and you can't punch it.
Oh.
Like you're like, and then one day I did it, even though it felt like it took forever for my fist to get to whatever it was. But I did it. It took so long, so years. It was crazy. And then once I did that, I never had that happen to me ever again.
Wow. And what happened to you, like in the physical realm? What happened to you around that time?
I wasn't scared, because there was periods I was scared to go to sleep, and then the doctors say you got this sleep apnea, stuff like that. But yeah, it'd be sometimes it'd be during the day when I would take a nap.
Yeah.
You know, take a nap and you just felt like you're awake, but you're not awake. Like you're there, you're trying to get up, you're trying to wake, and then you got something on top of you, something. And then I would always try to. Now you can't move, right? You can't move. They call it. I forgot what they call it. There's a term they call it.
Sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis, yes. And some people have it more often than the others. I had it for a few times, and I remember that I was all slow motion, and like because you can't move, and then I would try to move and try to fight, and I couldn't, and then I don't know, man. I did it that one time, and ever since then I don't have it no more. But I remember I fought back. You know, my lady sometimes she'll have dreams like that, and then I would wake her up, like, hey, wake up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I haven't had that in a long time, years. But I remember that, and that's what's always stuck with me.
Yeah.
Nobody really forgets when they have sleep paralysis. No matter how many times you had it, you never forget each one because it's that. It does freak you out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had one probably a couple of years ago that I still don't forget. It was because my little cousins, they saw something in their house. They said it's a man in a hat. And I remember them telling me about it. And I'm like, well, these kids are probably kids are high or something. And that night I started dreaming that I was in their house. And this big shadow of a guy in a hat popped out. And I freaked out. So me being like, I was going to catechism during that time. And I did the sign of the cross. And when I did that in my dream, I just felt somebody like just choking me in my sleep.
Jeez.
And I was screaming for my dad. Like I could hear my dad getting ready, take my mom to work, and I'm just screaming like the top of my lungs, like, Dad, help! And I couldn't move at all. When I woke up, I was just sweating. I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna just stay awake the rest of the night.
Oh man.
Let me talk about the Man in the Hat for a second. 'Cause
Man in the Hat. Okay.
It's actually extremely common. There's a documentary on it as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's it on?
The last time I saw it, I think it was on Amazon.
Okay, I have
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah, I think it was on
The
Amazon.
Man in the Hat.
The Man in the Hat. Yeah, which I've experienced.
I'm scared to watch stuff at the house. Like when my lady, she watches all those murder mystery movies.
Oh.
I told her, I said, you're gonna be a murderer one of these days. Like, she
Those
goes,
put me to sleep.
she goes, if you don't know how to take care of a body, just let me know.
Yeah.
But then she's starting to watch the ones with the mediums.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, she's watching those ones, and I go, how? Well, let's talk about that. The
Yeah.
Man in the Hat first. We'll continue.
All right. So I had this apparition happen. I used to live here in Santa Ana too.
Okay.
I used to live off of Greenville and
Edinger.
yeah, I used to live off of there, and it was this like kind of old house, and my mom was actually traveling out of the country at the time. She was in El Salvador, and I was at home with my dad. I used to have like these large glass doors in my room, and I had experienced sleep paralysis as well. And I just felt someone holding me down on the bed. I couldn't scream, I couldn't move. The time on the clock had frozen, and I heard these footsteps running on the ceiling, left, right, and then slowly stopped right above me. And so when that happened, I tried screaming, because I was like, something's on top of me, and now something's on the roof, and the time is stopping. And
You're awake.
Oh, I was completely awake. I was
Holy
completely
shit.
conscious during this entire time. So I look over to the glass doors, and I see the shadow of like a man in a hat, but he's getting taller and taller and taller and taller and taller as this is happening. So eventually he's like 6'5", and I'm just staring at him, right? And he's got like these glowing red eyes, and so I don't know what breaks it. I think, but I just end up knocking out. But I haven't forgotten it since. So I started looking it up, right? I was like, okay, like there has to be someone else who has dreamt this, or and I found the documentary. So they start talking about how the Man in the Hat is an apparition that comes to you when your family is going through some sort of problem, when parents are splitting up, when there's abuse in the house, when like there's all these different toxic things happening. And at the time my parents were getting separated. So it's funny that she brings that up now, because I'm like, what was happening at that time?
That family secret was found out by my
Oh.
parents.
There we go.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That there's a family secret that my parents found out about, and it was probably like 2-3. No, I'm gonna say that following weekend, my parents talked to me about what had happened to me as a kid, and I'm like, yeah, like I never forget that too either.
Yeah.
The Man in the Hat appears when
Yeah.
there's something going on in your own family, or it's just something.
Yeah, and he usually appears to children under the age of 16. And at the time when he appeared to me, I was 15.
That was
My brother,
15.
my brother-in-law, he tells my lady the stories, and she tells them because they like. I don't know if it has to do with watching scary movies. Like they let the little girl watch. She is, I think she's 6, 5 or 6, and she's autistic. Beautiful girl, love her to death. He says once at their old house that she was in the room, and he comes in the rooms during the day, and she goes, and she's doing her thing, and then she goes, no, she covers her face, no, and then her dad comes in and goes, what? She goes, ghost, and she points, to the sort like that's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's real, and people
Yeah.
People are ignoring it, ignoring
Yes.
the issue.
Kids see things we don't see.
Why
Like
is
we
that?
used to be able to see that stuff, but it's more with our age, like as we get older.
Yeah.
And because I remember my nieces and nephews when they were little, like anywhere between being 6 months to 3, they'd just be like looking around or randomly start crying in certain places. I'm like, what the heck's going on with you? And once they start talking, they start pointing and saying, there's that over there. I'm like, you kind of start taking more into consideration, like, yeah, they still see things.
Yeah. And it's because, when you're so small, you're not corrupted by like all the problems of the world or any of those things. You have your own intuition, you're in tune with your feelings, expression, and you can verbally say things, and meaning, you can see things now. There's kids who see things, there's kids who just feel things, and they just don't know what's happening. So it's a lot of different sensations and visuals that happen.
Is it everybody that goes through it, or is it certain people that experience these things?
I would say it's just very common.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very common for like every 100 kids or so to see things, and then everyone or a majority of other kids maybe hear things, a majority of other kids maybe feel things. So that's why I say everyone has a gift. We just don't know what ours is yet. And when you're a kid, you tend to know the things that you heard, or what you saw, and you just can't explain it. So part of all this like spiritual stuff is going back to those times and having that self-acceptance, and like saying that it's okay to be different. So it's all touching back and healing whatever happened there that told you to ignore that told you to not think about it anymore, silenced you, told you that you were crazy, and all these other things.
It's healing your inner child. Makes you think, doesn't it?
So do we have? So it's not. So what are these entities? Obviously, we got our souls, we got our ancestors that are protecting us. I mean, are they all from the same realm? Different realms? Because it's weird how an entity can reveal itself and then get you physically when it's not. It can go into the spiritual realm to the physical realm and be able to physically hold you down.
Yeah.
How do we fight? I mean, there's no fight in that. I mean, how do we fight? So like, how is that? I mean, I guess life isn't fair, right?
Yeah.
I said that's not fair fighting. Like I can't go into your realm and whoop your ass, but you could come into mine and do something like that to us.
Yeah, it's all just,
It makes you feel weak.
yeah, it's all just energy and intention. So for us, people in the physical realm, like that friend that we fell out with, she's very gifted in the sense that like she has like the power of like manifestation. Everything that she wants happens. So if she wants us to have a fucked up day, she can make that happen. So that's in the physical realm. As far as like entities and stuff, there are spirits who are in heaven. There's people who occupy heaven. That's usually our ancestors, people who left this world with a prayer, people who left this world with like good karma, and they're stepping into the next life or now becoming an angelic being. And then there's people who are in limbo, the people who didn't get a prayer, the people who sadly, it's most of the spirits that I've come in contact with are the people who've died of like overdose, or people who have died of
Those
like,
are the ones that
suicide.
roam the world. Roam around. Those are
they're
the ones that are in
stuck.
limbo.
Yeah, they're stuck.
And that is that. And then is there a hell?
Oh, I definitely
You
believe
believe?
there's a hell.
So you got heaven, hell, and then the middle,
Yeah.
the limbo.
Yeah.
The in between.
The in between.
The in between, and those are the ones that if you rent a house and they
Yes.
say it's haunted,
Yeah.
it's because somebody was But then you also get the ones that were murdered, or the ones that were
Yeah.
raped,
Yeah.
and then they're still there
Yeah,
too.
they're still
But
there.
then they say like those ones they're now they're angry, and now they're gonna cause
Yes.
distress. Could that be a
Yeah, they're in limbo as well because they didn't. They don't know they're dead. You know, they don't know they're dead, or they don't know what happened to them. They just saw all their family move out, and they just got left behind. So just being this, floating ball of energy where you just don't know where you are, you don't know where you're going, and how long you've been there. So,
I think it was the Russians or the Germans. They did I used to watch a lot of the experiments they did in World War II. Hitler was a very evil man. And he
Oh,
was
yes.
known to do evil experiments on people. One of them was sleep deprivation,
Mm-hmm.
where they would put people in the room and just see how they would act. And he would put them in there for months.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a picture of one. I don't know if it was a true picture, but the dude was like a skeleton,
yeah.
but he was still alive. And they weren't letting them sleep. They were just, whatever they were doing to torture them to keep them awake.
Mm-hmm.
But one of them they did was they weighed you when you died. The weigh table was down to certain fractions. They said that your soul, when it leaves your body, it was in the ounces. I want to say maybe 2 to 3 ounces. No, probably less than that. Probably like 1 ounce.
Mm-hmm.
They said when you died, your body got lighter, and they're saying that was your soul
Yeah.
leaving your body.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's pretty crazy.
Hmm.
You know, I'm like, makes you think.
Yeah, it really does.
It really does make you think.
So there's energy. The energy's around us. What can a person do? Let's say they want to balance their life out. Like, obviously, I balance my life out. This is my balance, and I'm in a good place.
Yeah.
I agree with a lot of things you say, as far as energy and my life experience. This is my experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell people what to do. I'm not going to tell them, but this is my life experience. With everything I've been through, I know that there's more out there. When we leave, there's another round. We're going somewhere,
Yes.
and I don't know, man. It's just amazing.
I know.
They don't talk. They'll talk about the news. It's everything's just. I don't know, man. Everything they feed you, it just seems to keep you blind.
Yeah, it's to keep you blind, to keep you working, to make money off of you, and
It's bad energy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because even the holistic doctors, like, they're scared to come on the podcast because
Yeah.
they got their stuff they do, their routine that's not FDA approved. You're. I mean, at least you're not labeled as a witch, and they would hang you back in the days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and there are some holistic doctors and even artists that started taking these routes of natural medicine, and the government took them out. They're like, we can't have that. You're too powerful as a person to be spreading this message of you don't need big pharma. You don't need to work 9 to 5. Like,
Who'd they take out? Do you know any names?
ooh, Tupac. Well, I
Oh,
mean,
Tupac,
they're saying,
okay.
They're saying he's still alive, but I don't know about that.
He was spreading positivity.
Yeah.
One of
he
his
was too
good song,
powerful.
"Dear
Yeah.
Mama," and he was involved in. He dabbled in the other world too,
Yeah.
But he also when he got on the he did. I would see him angry and talk about things, but then I would see him on his positive side,
Yeah.
and I think he was leaning towards his positive side, or he was when they took him out.
Yeah. So there's Tupac, right? And then there's Nipsey Hussle.
Oh,
This,
Nipsey was
yeah.
he was
Nipsey
doing
was-
things in the community, and that's what I've talked about on the podcast before with other my friends that are into hip hop, stuff like
Yeah.
that. We would talk about these things, and I said, why is it always the good ones that go? They're doing things, they're giving back to the community,
Yes.
they're doing, and then they end up getting shot up.
Yeah.
And then you got the ones that are rapping about, like for example, 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
Right? that guy's still around, dude. And
Yeah.
everyone wants to take him out. Like,
But
it's
they
just
can't.
yeah,
They can't.
yeah, but they can. It's just.
We
I
were
don't
talking
know.
about 6ix9ine.
Yeah, we were talking about 6ix9ine on the way here, actually.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
I'm watching the documentary on Hulu.
Oh, dude, it's good. It was really good.
I was like,
I watched it when I
wow.
had COVID, and I was like, "Oh shit, dude!" It was actually really good. The research he did and everything on him.
Yeah.
He opened doors. Who knows who he prays to or what he does, but he is where he is not because of him being a good person. He tried to act like he's a good person, handing out money and stuff, but he made a deal with the devil, and he went the back doorway.
That's
because everyone else is angry at them, right?
Yeah.
Everyone, but they're all signed with record companies that require you to sign in blood. Some of them, they don't. I mean, I've watched YouTube videos on, this is bro science, actually, obviously, but the music industry is really demonic. The stuff they
Yeah.
say, and then they play your records backwards, or they got certain beats that put you in a trance. I mean, you want to go down that road, dude. There's music. I used to, trust me, I got Eminem CDs upstairs in my car.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to listen to Eminem, and it was like I was living my life like Eminem. And oh no, he's got recovery. That's me too. I'm going. And it's like you start seeing that you're following the footsteps of other celebrities or artists.
Yes. Yeah. And a lot of that is frequencies. Because are you familiar with like the healing
Yeah.
frequencies
Yes.
and all those things? So like, let's say, what's her face? Janae Aiko? Is that how
Oh,
you say it?
Janae.
Yeah. So she puts sound bowls in her music, which is like used
Janelle,
for.
which one's that? The black girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she like a lesbian, right?
No, I don't
No.
think so. No.
No, the one, the one song, he gotta eat my booty like groceries. That girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, her. So she, in her own albums, like, the stuff that she does, like, aside from all that, like, she puts a lot of sound bowl meditations in her music, and you don't know that you're being, like...
What's sound bowl meditation?
So sound bowls, they work with, like, certain frequencies that heal different parts of the body, which are known as, like, these power points, chakras. And she works with all those bowls, and she puts them in there, and you don't know that, like... your
He's putting you
ears
in a
are in
trance.
tune, and yeah, like you're being placed in a trance, and you just kind of start liking her music, but you don't really know why, and it's healing in a way. So there's artists who use that for good. So now just imagine what they do for bad. Like, there's a lot of people who've like they've sampled music from other artists, and because they have the right tunes and they have the right everything to put you in these trances. That's why the same music keeps getting recycled over and over.
Yeah,
You
Power
really
106,
think
all that. It's like,
Yeah.
you guys talk about this. You say you guys talk about this, and people's lives matter. Whatever agenda you're pushing,
Yeah.
but then you're promoting violence with the music you're playing,
Yes.
or you're promoting the sexual part, and you're changing the way our kids are growing up. They have the opportunity to do that, and they've been doing it for a long time.
Oh yeah, a very long time. I just recently started catching on to that too, because I don't really listen to the radio.
Yeah,
I
me
listen
either,
to
no
my
more, yeah.
music, So I was listening to it the other day, and they're like, "Yeah, fam, tune into like 106, no cap, and this and that." I was just like,
Yeah,
"Why
no
are you
cap.
using all these TikTok terms? Like, why do you need to go?"
They're going after
I'm like,
the kids.
I'm like, you're literally like, you've been doing radio for like 30 years, like
Mm-hmm.
since you don't speak like this outside of the radio. Like it was just so
Yeah,
weird
at
to
one
me.
point does it matter when you say, okay, I gotta stop at saying that. I'm not gonna say new shit like no cap.
Yeah, it's just.
I don't even know the terms that they're using now.
But it's like they don't even speak like that on their own time. Like you're not always that radio host like 24 hours a day. It's
Yeah.
like, they gotta play it up for like these younger kids and to have them listen to everything. And it's like if you gotta do that, then what's the point?
I feel like every time they say something new, like from TikTok, I feel like they cringe every time.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
ugh,
TikTok.
like why?
Oh man, I could talk about that all day. One thing I wanted to mention was shit, man. I lost my train of thought. The younger music.
Yeah.
The younger music. How old are you guys?
I'm 28.
I'm 25.
Okay, so you guys are the younger generation. Before everything these rappers are talking about is I'm depressed. I got depression, and I need Xannies. Well, why don't you go fucking run around the block?
Yeah.
Why don't you try vitamin D3? Why don't you take some omega 3s, some fish
Yeah.
oils? Those help with depression. I mean, that's just another form of as far as crystals and as far as using the nutrients we have
Yeah.
to make yourself. You want to jump straight into pharmaceuticals and I take Xanny bars. I'm depressed. Like, you don't even know what depression is, bro.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You're 16. Talk about your. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's people that do suffer.
Yeah.
There's people that do suffer, but the majority of them, like, I'm depressed. Well, come on.
Yeah.
I see you. I see these kids. They don't exercise. They sit there and they stare at the iPad all day. And
Eat
then they
hot
go,
Cheetos
and then
all
they
day.
go, eat hot Cheetos all day. And then they Starbucks. And then you're putting all these saturated fats and all these artificial sugars. And those are all matter of factly man-made. Why don't you go exercise and take some vitamins and drink a kale shake or whatever these
Read a
new
book.
refresh or read a book.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know I mean, I'm not saying there are kids that do, but for the majority, you're 16 and you're 17, whatever, and you suffer from depression. You don't know what depression is. Wait till you're my age when you're 40, when you've abused drugs and you've. This is all a learning experience for me.
Yeah.
Right. This has all been a learning experience, and I'm trying to tell these younger kids. I mean, that's why I started a podcast, is just to help people.
Of course.
There's other ways besides going straight to pharmaceuticals and getting Xanax. I used to take Xanax. Thank God I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it made me feel. It made me feel useless. I didn't have the brain chemistry going, dude, where I was able to think and just get your brain going.
Yeah.
Like for me, when I do this podcast, my brain's constantly moving now.
Yes.
But if I was on Xanax or whatever they're taking, the other type of stuff, can't think about it. It's slowing you down.
I mean,
But I get it. Some people need it though.
I mean, from my personal experience, because I got diagnosed with anxiety at 15, but
Mhm.
I caused it myself because I was drinking a bunch of Monsters and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I had that too.
So
I had that happen to me too.
So I had anxiety, and then I had a very big panic attack to the point where I thought I was dying.
Oh yeah.
So they gave me anti-anxiety medication, and they also gave me antidepressants.
Mhm.
After 3 days of taking them, and they told me you have to cut the pill in half. Just take half of both of your pills. After 3 days on it, I told my parents, I don't want this anymore. This is like making me paralyzed. Like, I was falling asleep in class. My teachers were like, are you okay? And I told them what I was taking. Like, I had to show them what I was taking. I had to show the school nurse what I was taking. And they're like, why are you on this? I'm like, because I had a panic attack. And they told me I'm depressed, I'm this, I'm that. And just after 3 days on it, I'm like, nope, I'm not taking this
Yeah.
anymore. I'm done.
I'm glad you did.
And then I'm already 28, and it's been that long, and I have not taken an antidepressant pill. I haven't taken anti-anxiety.
You're the worst, dude. And you
I
can
stopped.
actually die from withdrawals of Xanax.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can. I was just very thankful I got rid of them, and I've seen it personally also in my family, people who take them and how dependent they come on them. I'm like, no. When they ask me, how did you do it? I'm like, stop. I just stopped. I didn't take these anymore.
I think we all go through. Somebody told me we go through phases every 4 years. So every 4 years of our age, you know. And I think 20, I started getting really bad anxiety. But I was also drinking Monsters. I was getting panic attacks, and so it was bad. I thought I was gonna die, and I used to get them all the time. And then they gave me Xanax, and I was on it for a little bit. But I was so young, I didn't know that you can get addicted to it. So I never got addicted to that. You know, I stopped taking that, but then, you know, I got addicted to other things. But I went through that phase too, and I think it's a phase we all go through, right?
Yeah.
Do you believe in something like that?
Oh yeah.
What
of
is it?
course.
Every 4 or 5 years?
From what I've seen, yeah, I see people who go through that, you know, every 4 or 5 years. They want a career change or all these different things. And we usually perceive that as being something negative, but we need to change the perspective on it and be like, you know what, if I'm being so anxious and I'm, you know, so against the things that I loved at one point, it's because I'm growing, I'm ascending, I'm reaching a new level of myself, which is my highest self, and saying, I don't want these things anymore. Let me make some changes. But usually when we bring these subjects up, like, we just get told a quick solution to like how to fix that, which is like Xanax or anything else, instead of actually doing the work to be like, you know what, I'm going to start hitting the gym tomorrow, or I'm going to start eating better, and I'm going to start, you know, saying yes to, you know, going out places. You know, we don't really consider those things to be like signs of positive change coming, but they really are.
I had a conversation with my therapist. I have a therapist. Shout out to Dr. Narenberg. He's been on the show a few times. He's a psychologist, and he's all about the inner you, right?
Yes.
You know, reading, writing, exercise, vitamins. You know, he stays away from all the pharmaceutical drugs, but everything's just vitamins and getting your blood work. Okay, you're low on iron, take some iron pills, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I've talked to him about the younger generation, this younger generation. You guys don't follow in it,
No.
you know, but a little below you guys, we got this younger generation where, you know, they're I don't know if it's the iPad or the phones, because I didn't grow up with it. I don't know if you guys did, but I didn't grow up with having the internet, and the internet barely came out when I was in college.
We're older than
But-
Google if
but
you really think about it.
But the attitude and everything, that's coming with it, like I know it all. No, yeah, it's like holy shit, dude.
That's the know-it-all syndrome, literally.
Is that what they call it? The
I
know-it-all
call
syndrome?
it that. I call it that. I was like, know-it-all syndrome.
Is that new, or has that been around for a long time? But the kids are acting that way.
I have nephews right now. One of them is about to turn 21, and like the older ones, they're like ranging between like 18 and 21.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw them grow up on. Oh, I saw two examples. I have my nephew who lives here, and I have one that lives in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
I saw one grow up like doing what he wants to do, and have a phone, iPad, whatever. And I saw another one like kind of the same thing, but you saw the difference. Like my nephew knew when to put it down. My nephew that lives here, he knew when to put it down. The other one didn't know what to put it down, and I see it from him right away. He's almost 21, and he still has a know-it-all syndrome. I'm like, this is why you get your butt kicked, and it's because he grew up just looking at his phone, posting things online, doing what he wanted to do just because he had a tablet in front of him. And my other nephew, he was told when to put it down. He knew when to put it down, and he just let it be, and he's thriving. My other nephew, he's thriving, but to a minimal extent because he has his little attitude. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I tell him, mijo, you can't be going through life with this attitude throughout your whole life, and it's gonna just get your butt kicked too.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because of this, because you're saying you had two examples. One guy goes out, I'm putting it down, which would be someone like me. Like I had video games. I didn't stay at home play. I was always out playing basketball, running around in the streets, just having fun. And then you got some that rather just stay inside. Mm-hmm. You know, but when I grew up, everybody wanted to be outside. So
yeah,
to see, like, I'm trying to figure out what is it, you know, because what they're watching, is it positive for us? Is it growth? You know, some people would say that the internet's the devil. It's the tree of knowledge given to people that are not worthy of recepting it, because you see a lot of stuff on it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Is it almost like a portal?
Yeah, it would be like a portal, because there's everything online. You know, you could learn how to like take your car apart and put it back together without having like a mechanic's, you know, like touch or anything like that. You could find out like the holistic medicine and crystals that are going to heal you and all these things. So just the same way that we could use it for all the best things, we could use it for all the negative things. Yeah. Especially, you know, like the what's it called, like the dark web and all that.
Oh yeah, dude,
that's
the dark web.
That scary portal there.
Yeah, I won't even try it. I mean, because the government will follow you they'll know everything's IP address, everything's even on YouTube. I'll post to YouTube if I had music one time playing, and I didn't think they'd get me. They wouldn't post my shit. They're like, you're playing this song. They didn't even know what song I was playing. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
I got caught on Instagram because I posted a TikTok that I had posted like probably a month or two ago, or a couple months ago. Not even 2 seconds on my Instagram, they're already like, it's going to be taken down because you're using so-and-so song. And I'm like, it hasn't even been 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like that quick.
Yeah.
Damn, feeding the beast.
Yep. I'm like, ooh. That's why I tend not to really use any music on anything I post anymore, unless it's like the ones that are already on Instagram. Like just pick it and like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
What's your intake on COVID as far as your aspect of your world?
What's kind of crazy is that during this, during 2020, that's actually when I profited the most. There's people, depending on your business, where you profit from this pandemic or you suffer from the pandemic. Because, a lot of other people, like, let's say the restaurant business took a really big hit, like the bars and all those things, they took a really big hit, theme parks. And then there's people like me who work basically from home, who was just, running these stacks up, which was kind of sad, but it, I guess this is my advantage. And I feel bad sometimes, I have that guilt from time to time where it's like, how was it that I have, like, 2020 was a really successful year for me and all these people were passing away. And it's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
You didn't did you get your shot?
Yeah, I'm fully vaccinated.
You're fully?
I'm not vaccinated, but I'm on the fence.
You're on the fence?
Yeah.
Excuse me. I got COVID really bad. I think I told you.
Told
it was
me.
really bad. I almost called 911. It was horrible. And everyone's getting vaccinated at the house. and I'm on the fence. I was like, when I was finished, I was like, I'm getting a shot. But then now, you know, with my own personal research, you know, it's, you know, I'm still decisive, but I'm leaning more towards, you know, when I do get it, I'm going to get it towards when I do get sick. So I do come down around December, November. I do come down with something.
Yep.
It's the weather change, all that. Your body's adjusting. Like even when it's overcast, I'll get like this headache, this congestion, and it's because the atmosphere changes because of the cloud, and so the air and all that, it changes. So it changes our bodies as well.
Yeah.
So I'm on the fence, but most likely I'm going to get it just because I don't want to infect anybody. Like even if I get it and I'm able to fight it, I still have it and I'm able to transfer that on to someone that's wouldn't be able to handle something like that. So I don't know. I mean, you know, people calling you for healings and stuff like that.
Not necessarily healings, but more for like readings, because unemployment was really high, 2020 and still to this day. So a lot of people, I feel like they just had a lot of money, they just didn't know what to do with it. So they just kind of hit me up for a reading, be like, hey, you know what, it's my first time, I've never had one before, let's see what,
So you had a lot of first timers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot
she
of
did.
first-timers,
Yeah.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they all local people?
Oh yeah, they're pretty cool.
How do you promote yourself?
Instagram mostly.
Just Instagram.
Yeah, just Instagram. I don't mess with Snapchat. I don't mess with
Yeah.
Facebook or anything. I feel like those two, like it's just a blend of the same things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You don't really meet a lot of people who have all three,
Mhm.
so I just kind of just use it on Instagram only because, I feel like it's the app that you run back to at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have all these other apps and
Yeah, there was MySpace, Facebook. I'm
Yeah.
on Facebook, Instagram. I didn't do a Snapchat, TikTok. Some people are like, "Oh, you should." I go, "Man, I'm going way down there." You know, I'm comfortable with IG. I remember I was asking people, "Where should I promote my podcast?" And so one person said Facebook. I said, "Man, that's kind of old, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
a
for
little
older
outdated.
people. It's out.
That's
out
for
there.
like the moms and the tias and all
Yeah,
that.
the
Yeah.
family, the familia.
Yeah, la familia.
You know, people from high school.
Yeah.
Shout out to all those people. So I go on and I do my thing on there and promote my podcast there, but I'm mostly on Instagram. But then, you got TikTok. I think I'm comfortable with Instagram. I don't know.
Yeah, and I tried TikTok, and I'm just like, you know what? It takes a long time to make this 30-second video.
Really?
I don't
It
know if I
does.
have that in me. Instagram is, you're used to it, like you just kind of know when to paste here, like, you know how to work with it. And TikTok is like a whole different, like, coding thing. It's just crazy, and I don't have the time for that. Like, I don't have the time to spend like an hour.
So you doing this full time?
Oh, full time, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, full time.
How much do you charge per session?
Honestly, right now
Well-
it's just about 20.
$20?
Yeah,
That's not
20
bad.
bucks. It's
And
not
how long
bad.
does it take?
Depending on the questions, depending on what the person wants to know.
Really?
Yeah.
So the person comes in and he asks questions.
Yeah.
He goes, "What's the future hold for me?"
Yeah.
I don't want to know that.
Yeah, like let's say a question
Because
like
then I'll be all like, "Oh, she said my future looking bleak." You know what I mean? Then I'm like, "No, I'm gonna prove her wrong." And then the whole time I'm like trying to.
No, yeah, I've had those occasions as well, where I've had really messed up readings, and I tell them, like, according to the cards, it's saying that you're gonna lose your job, or this and this is gonna happen, but it also tells you how to prevent.
Dude, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose your job.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear
Monday.
it, but it's hard truth sometimes you need to hear.
Yeah. sometimes
Really?
it's hard
Things
to-
you-
What makes it so? Then a person usually that comes to you, they're broken.
Yes, they're broken, or they're coming out of something big, like they lost their job, they lost their relationship, and now they want to know what steps that they can take. So I have some of those people who are coming from endings, and then I have people who are coming for beginnings. Hey, you know what? I've been noticing the number 777 a lot. I don't know what it means. Can you help me out? And
I used to see 911 all the time.
oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, years ago, my old route. This is when I was trying to kick pills, oxycodone. Well, codone. That's the proper name. Oxycontin. It comes from one of the businesses. That's their name. But I was it was basically heroin in a pill, and I was struggling to get off of it. I was going back. I was battling, and then I would always see. I look at my phone, 911.
Yeah.
I look at my diet board, 911.
Yeah.
I'd be driving. I see a clock. I say 911. We deliver in the house and look, and it's 911.
Yeah.
Like I see it all the time, and then I would always tell. And so, then things would happen, right?
Yes.
You know, arguments, you know, going through a tough time. And then so now if I do see it, I know I go, okay, so I need to be awake and aware and make sure my situations that I put myself into or just happen to come upon me to say, hey, I'm not going to get angry. I'm not going to do what I used to do in the past when things like this would happen. I'm going to be open-minded and be like, hey, you know, because one thing I struggle with is anger. I get pissed. You know, if I'm giving you good advice or you know, it's just my personal issues, and then I have to put myself out there and say, look, I'm not going to escalate. Let's just, and so I've learned, and so now I don't see it anymore. But I remember seeing numbers.
Yeah, at the time that you were saying that 911, I associate that number with Archangel Michael, who is the archangel of like strength and fighting back and speaking your truth and protection overall. So I think he was trying to communicate to you that this ending was coming.
It was hard.
Yeah.
I tell people it was the hardest thing in my life to give up pills, and then
Yeah.
I had to get on medication. That was even harder to kick because pharmaceutical drugs. You know, there was other herbs and other ways like kratom. Kratom helped me; it saved me. And it's just it's a plant. It's a cousin of the coffee plant. It's grown in South Asia, and I found these guys. I had them on the podcast way in the beginning, and the doctors ain't gonna tell you that. No one's gonna tell you that. You know, you go on forums, and then people are like, "Oh yeah, it does," but it's some good stuff. It'll help people. Like, you don't have to be on pharmaceutical drugs. You want to get off heroin? There's other methods. There's the herbal life, and for the government to like not even the FDA not even acknowledge it, like it's still literally it's kind of illegal.
Yeah.
You know, that stuff helped me. It helped me get off drugs, and so yeah, I remember I was battling it and battling it, and then it was a long battle.
Yeah. And he assisted you.
Yeah, I didn't think of it. I mean, I thought it was like, oh fuck, something's gonna happen to me.
No. Yeah.
But you know, it wasn't anything like that. It was more of a, you know, it was a battle. I was going to battle, dude. Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah, all those numbers we saw yesterday too.
Oh yeah.
We see a lot of numbers when me and her hang out or wherever, just on ourselves. We see certain numbers everywhere.
Yeah, and those are angels trying to communicate with you.
Really?
Send you a message of something coming on the way, and you know.
Numbers.
Yeah. Numbers.
Why is it through numbers?
It's a universal thing.
Yeah.
Numbers are the same in every language. In every language, in every realm, and everything. That's, you know, it's what we see the most with the receipts and transactions on our phones. You know, everything is digital. Everything is numbers. That's the way they communicate.
Damn. Yeah, you definitely seem you're in the right path.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're definitely on point with everything you said today. I mean, it's I have my own experiences. And so someone that's like you and doing stuff like that, it's, you know. What do you think about the game Loteria?
Loteria.
Oh, Loteria.
Oh, Loteria. It's so much
I thought it was
fun.
tarot cards. We were all playing the other day. I go, it's tarot
Actually-
cards. I go, oh,
Actually, about
Actually,
that.
Yeah, you can use them as fortune telling as well.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, you could use Loteria. You could use the regular
Playing cards.
playing cards, even Uno cards. Sometimes.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, anything that's like a deck you can use. I mean, for tarot, there's tarot and there's oracle as well. So a tarot, that's the specific one. That's the one with like the Fool, the Magician, Four of Swords, you know, Five of Cups, and that's, you know.
Yeah, because isn't that on the Loteria cards?
No, the Loteria ones are more just like symbols.
Yeah.
Okay, symbols. Okay,
So,
but it's the same drawings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's,
Is that what it
yeah,
is?
It's
Okay.
drawings. So they all just have art and numbers and stuff you can work with, right? And then oracle are decks with like specific phrases of, you know, like sometimes it'll say healthy union or spiritual union or heart chakra, different items, right? And those are messages from your angels, your guides, and people on the other side, assisting you with what you need to know at this time. And it's not so much numbers and, you know, things that I need to calculate. It's things that they're saying.
So
through
then,
the
how do you
cards.
do the deck? How do you mix the deck up, or what do you do?
Oh, you just shuffle it. There's people who shuffle it, people who knock on it 3 times. There's people who, you know, charge them with crystals and they place them on them and just don't touch them for a while. And sage, all these other
moon.
different things. Yeah.
Full moon. A lot of people do full moon charge on their cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust me, there's a lot to this.
Yeah. No, it's interesting.
Did you bring your card?
Oh, I did actually.
Oh, you brought your cards?
Yeah, I actually work with like a lot of different decks. I literally buy one probably like every couple weeks or so. So these are a few.
For the people listening, she's pulling out decks of cards.
This is another
Damn.
deck.
Yeah.
And then this is
Every time I see a deck of cards, I think about gambling.
this is a oracle.
That's the
deck.
Oracle one?
Yeah.
Yes, which is a little different. So, this is a tarot one. So High Priestess. Funny that's like
Yeah,
first
that's like the
card.
first one.
So the reason I put, High Priestess on my Instagram name, my
Mhm.
logo, and all those different things, because this is technically the highest rank in the tarot deck. This is the priest of knowledge, wisdom, intuition, beauty, harmony, balance. So she's the one. If you get this in your spread, it's saying that you're on the right path.
Mhm.
You're on the path of like
Oh,
enlightenment.
so I am then.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different
Really?
cards in here. Yeah, so we have these, the High Priestess, like let's say the Hierophant. These are from the Major Arcana, which is a set of about 21 cards, I believe, 21, 22 cards of the higher messages and higher things that are told to you. And then we also have ones like these where they have like the numeral here
Mhm.
and then the representation. So this is the Nine of Cups,
Mhm.
which is, cups are for emotional fulfillment. So these are like emotional cards. This could be the range of emotions and moods. So 9 of, emotional, and that's abundance. That's, good things coming in, a state of like feeling that you're positive in where you're at. So
Wow.
we have cups. We also have pentacles. So pentacles is more for describing the material things that, are here on earth. So this is usually for money, work, job, opportunity, those kinds of things. And we have different placements for them as well, which are knight, page, king, and queen, which, elevates the status. So those are interesting. We also have the ones with the numbers on them as well. So this is the 7 of Pentacles, which talks about rewarding hard work coming ahead and all these other
They
things.
make that look like the pentacle. They make that like that's the devil.
Yeah, and I've
But
seen
it doesn't, right?
No, it's actually just a representation of like a coin.
Mm-hmm.
Because a coin doesn't really, like, not all coins are the same, but they all kind of look the same. So the star on it is just as like symbolism of like the 5 points coming together and, materializing. We got them like right here.
Yeah, she's showing the cards on the table. So
Yeah, I'm trying to show them. The glare's a little weird.
yeah.
So Pentacles, yeah.
The Fool.
Yeah, and swords, this is talking about swift movement, so actions that need to be done, decisions that need to be made, just a lot of logical.
How long do the readings take?
Like I said, it kind of just depends on the questions that you might
Oh,
have.
okay.
Yeah, so if, like let's say Mary asked me for a reading and she said, I want to know about my love
Do you
life.
get readings?
Not recently, really, but she actually helped me out. Remember how I told you back in 2019 that whole bullshit thing with my ex and everything? We broke up. I literally came to her at the end of my relationship when my grandfather and cousins died and when I lost my job.
Mhm.
This is where we started hanging out again and everything because she helped me through this.
Wow.
So I trust her completely with anything. I come to her and
How long you guys known each other for?
10 plus years already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good relationship.
And I mean, we never really talked about those things before.
Mm-mm.
We never really talked about relationship problems or anything until, the recent things with like her ex.
it helped you, huh?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I mean, it opened my eyes a lot to a lot of things. It got me into this stuff.
It's
and
like
then
therapy.
It is, and I ended up finding out things that, like, I remember from a kid that I wasn't supposed to be doing because I have this thing where I take photos and I see things in the photos. Like our friend lost a parent, and in that photo I took of her in Long Beach, her mom's face is in the sky.
What?
Yeah. She's excellent at capturing like certain moments, and she's taken pictures of me where we see orbs and we see different balls of energy. And
I have some of
Yeah.
the photos.
Yeah?
It's weird because
Damn, that's crazy.
I captured there was a time where her glow wasn't there anymore, like your aura glow or anything. And
What does that mean?
When just at a time when you're at loss or grieving, or when you're just going through it, battling like depression or anxiety or
Yeah.
any sort, just overcoming hardship.
Where is it? Oh, from January 6th, their photos at the
Oh, yeah.
harbor.
So January 6th, just some insight on that. I lost my house in a fire.
That's my
And-
sister's birthday.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's, the Three Kings Day. So
Yeah.
yeah, I had lost my house in a fire, and I
What's the Three Kings Day?
And the Los Reyes, like the three wise men.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And on my way back, I had picked her up, and I said, you know what, can you go with me? Because it's a big site, and a lot of things were happening, and I was scared, and I was like, she took time off work, which I appreciate, and she went with me to my house to see how it ended up and everything. And afterwards, we ended up, going to get food or something, because we were like, well, I can't go home, so we might as well just go somewhere else. And
We ended up in Long Beach.
yeah, we ended up at Long Beach just trying to
And
have a good day.
something told me to take a picture of her that day, and there it is, the little orb on the side. Just something told me to take a picture of her.
Oh yeah, it's green.
It's green, and then we started looking up what orbs mean, and it was Archangel Michael or
Archangel Raphael.
Raphael,
Yeah.
and
Which
That
is,
was January 6th.
that was January 6th.
Oh, you did it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You see how it moved? I thought
Yeah.
I thought it was
moved.
I thought it was the glare of the sun, but I'm like, it would have popped out somewhere else.
Did
too.
you take just two, or did you take more than that?
I just those two. I don't have the other photo
Yeah.
of
That's
our other
crazy.
friend, but where her name popped out in the sky.
Oh yeah.
So this is our old friend right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you look over here, you see an A and an A. It says her name in the sky.
A-N-N-A. I can see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it says her name in the sky.
Yeah, and she had lost her mom of just a few days before January 6th. She lost her mom on New Year's Day. So the message in the sky, and then her mom's face appeared.
So you could take pictures, and then remember I asked you to take a picture. I said, "Don't remember to remind us."
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what's gonna be around us. Bunch of flames and fireballs.
Here's a
Like-
prime example of like I don't know if it was the glare of the sun or not. This is the day we went to go get a car with my dad and see how there's orbs around here, and it's not the sun.
You know what I totally forgot to
yeah.
do?
What?
This is why it was like that. Forgot to turn the lights on.
Oh,
Oh, there we go.
So this is how I know it's an orb, like it popped out, because again, you see other lights here and there's the sun. So
Oh,
and then
yeah.
on hers the sun is straight at her, but there's no other glare, just that
Oh,
orb.
sorry, folks. I dropped the ball on that one. So much. The camera looks so much nicer now.
Yay.
That's right. We got some time.
Yeah, so I take pictures, I capture some things, and she's seen it. And I used to do that a lot in high school. I used to always carry my camera.
Yeah, she's just very excellent at catching moments.
Catchy moments. Huh?
Yeah. And it's just, it'll randomly happen to, I'll be like, don't move.
Yeah,
I'll be
and
like,
I mean, there's paranormal moments too that you could catch on camera. And she's told me about, an experience that she had, and she recorded it at the right time.
yeah,
And
Really?
we've seen things. We've been in front of my house because I lost my dog back in October.
Mm-hmm.
And this one particular, it was your birthday reading, wasn't it?
yes.
Her birthday reading, and we just kept hearing like a dog running around, and it was growling a whole bunch. I'm like, you're hearing that too, and and there's no dog around our neighborhood, like unless they're on the other side of the neighborhood. But it sounded very close,
It sounded like close,
right in
like,
front of us,
right
and
in
we
front
kept
of us
seeing
almost.
this little shadow because I had a little chihuahua, and we looked in front of my in the back of my dad's car, and there was like something like, you know how dogs wait for you by the door like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was like that on the shadows right there.
Yeah.
We seen things.
Damn, that's crazy.
The night your eye turned red,
Oh.
that night freaked us out.
Yeah.
She was talking about her grandmother, and I turned to look at her, and her right eye was just like red.
Mm-hmm.
And I freaked out, and I freaked her out by freaking out.
And the thing I hadn't told her about why that was so, so scary is that one of my clients had a dream about me, sitting, like, let's say across from me, across from this person. And it was a depiction of my grandmother, and her eyes were bloodshot red. And I didn't tell her that. And when she saw that, that's what I thought of. And then I told her, I was like, hey, someone actually Someone actually had a dream about me,
Mhm.
seeing me with someone with like blood red eyes. I was like, that's crazy.
And it was only her right eye.
Yeah.
The other eye was just normal, but her right eye was just like this very, like I don't.
Did it
forget
hurt?
She
She didn't notice.
She didn't know.
No, I wasn't aware.
I thought it was because I thought it was her radio at first, and I'm like, her car was off.
Yeah.
Her car was off, and I'm looking at her eye, and I'm like, why is it red? And I'm like, dude, what's wrong with your eye?
And then I started panicking. I was like, wait, what's wrong with my eye? I didn't know. Yeah.
I couldn't find my phone, and then when I found my phone, it was dead.
Yeah.
I tried to take a picture of it,
Damn.
but I always capture something, and then she used to hear. You still hear the voices sometimes, like.
People are gonna be like, she hears voices. What?
Well,
No, I know. I do when I take too many edibles. I have to shut it down. I go, no, just stop. I think way too much, and I get into, and it's better. I mean, I'd rather take an edible than drink. Right?
Yes.
Drink,
Yeah.
you wake up hungover. If I take an edible, it's almost like a psychedelic.
Yeah.
If you take enough of it. I know people will take 100 milligrams, no problem. If I took 100, bro. Let me tell you, I'd be floating in this room right now. I keep it minimal. I keep it 5 milligrams.
Yeah.
You know, better than taking Advil.
Oh,
Been
mission
through-
memories.
But-
Mission memories.
But if I know if I take a little bit, if I take 10, and then I'm by myself, like forget it. It's over.
Yeah.
It's game over. It's notepad, and you're just. But it's crazy because the next morning you're fine. You don't feel like shit. You're okay. You get up, you go, but you're like, man, it's like I was dreaming. But I was awake, you know, and it's barely starting to become legal now.
yeah.
Going back to ayahuasca, DMT, you know anything about that?
I've seen a few documentaries.
Mhm.
I've thought about it, you know.
Thought about
before.
trying it?
Yeah, I've thought about trying it. I have a friend who, she's done DMT a few times, and she's always trying to convince me. She's like, you know what? Just come over. I'll guide you. I'll help you. And I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, dude, that's even crazier because
Yeah.
you got your world here,
Yeah.
and then
Where I see enough. You
yeah,
know?
I already see it
Without
now.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I already see. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't know, man. I already see enough,
Yeah.
dude. I might not come back.
Yeah, but I've definitely thought about ayahuasca. I've for sure thought about that. I was even looking at like flight prices and everything. I was like, you know what? I really do want to try it.
And it helps a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah.
Any people that got problems, drug addiction, depression, real depression, anxiety, stuff like that, they go down there and they come back different.
Yeah.
It's like a hard reset button for your
Yes.
brain.
Like I saw this this one documentary where this guy I think it was like Costa Rica or something. He went down there and he had very heavy depression and like drug addiction, and he trusted this shaman to help him. So he made him take like this potion. Like I think it was like 3 times a day, every single day for 90 days. No food, no water, just that.
Mm.
And he looked so different after the 90 days, and he voluntarily stayed to finish out the year. And then they updated with him, you know, and he said, I don't think I'm going back. And it was the craziest thing. And that's all he just continued to take. No food, no...
Just that potion?
Just that potion. And just...
Damn, that scissor.
Yeah. It was insane.
Where's the guy at now?
He's still down there. He doesn't want to come
Oh,
back.
he never came back.
Yeah, he doesn't want to. He said that he just wants to continue to stay down there, that he's much happier, healthier. And he came from, like, parents who were a doctor and a psychotherapist. And so these 2 doctor parents couldn't help their own kid. And when he said, I want to go down to Costa Rica and try, you know, this plant, they couldn't really stop him. So he just did, and he never came back.
What does he do?
He's just down there, just living among trees. Like,
Oh,
just...
God.
The dream.
Yeah.
He's like living in a tree.
Yeah.
Why not? As a kid, you always wanted to live in a tree house. Why not do it?
Yeah, whatever makes you happy. I just hope he's okay.
I mean, he seemed okay. He looked a lot healthier. He looked happier, like, you know, because they did, like, record him and they interviewed him, like, before he took his trip. And he just looked very down, just a walking skeleton. And now he just looks like so much healthier. So much
Yeah, this
happier.
rat race ain't good for us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just getting worse.
Yeah.
You know, people are getting in tune with the internet. They're linking themselves. Elon Musk is talking about putting chips in your brain, which is all good for people that are disabled and they can start moving their arms now, stuff like that. I think that's cool, man. But at what cost? You know, when we start bonding with machines, because we're already doing it now by being plugged into the internet.
Yeah.
You know, our younger generation, we don't know the outcome. You know, are they going to save us? You know, as long as me personally, as long as there's no war. I mean, we're going constantly. There's war right now in the Middle East. You know, they got the Hamas and the Israels. They're shooting at each other, stuff like that. And you got the Iron Dome. Imagine living here. We had an Iron Dome, and we're constantly getting bombed, just because we both believe in two different things.
Yeah.
And this brings everyone together. If everyone was on point and says, "Hey, man, we got rid of all this and just focus on, you know, nutrition." You know, going back to our ancestors' age.
Yes. I think it would definitely fix things, you know. Just working with ourselves, working with things that have been provided for us, the plants, the elements, animals even. You know, we're supposed to coexist with animals, and we're out here killing them. All this other stuff. And, like, I felt so bad about that yesterday because we were at SeaWorld yesterday, and we got to experience that firsthand. Like, all this, like, just like the sadness of it, you know, just seeing all these animals. Like we just started feeling so guilty towards the end.
It's when we saw the orcas. There was
When we saw
something
the
about
orcas.
seeing the orcas that just like started breaking our heart. Like I started getting emotional.
Yeah.
They're killing orcas?
No,
they're
they're
not
just
killing them,
they're
they're
just
just
there.
contained.
They're just contained,
And
yeah.
it's so small, like the tank that they have compared to like the parking lot, you know, which goes on for miles and miles, and it wraps around like the whole park.
Did you guys ever go to Santa Ana Zoo?
I haven't.
I haven't been there since I was like probably 13.
Well, okay. Well, back then they had a bald eagle there. Did you ever see that one?
The bald eagle,
It was huge. It couldn't fly no more. One of the wings is broken or whatever.
Yeah.
And it looked so sad. It was huge. Huge bird sitting on the post, and they're like, "Oh, it doesn't fly no more." But it looked so fucking sad when I saw it. I go, man, like it's just sitting there all sad on the post. I get it.
I actually feel more bad when I go to the Orange County Zoo, the one that's in Irvine Park. There's just something about seeing the little, because they have owls there, and I love owls, and there's just something about seeing them in there, and I'm like, I'm gonna break that window or something. I'm just gonna break the glass and let it out.
But SeaWorld yesterday was just
SeaWorld was a lot.
It was an entire experience. Like
I'm surprised they're still open.
Yeah, and they call it a rescue and all these things. But literally after every exhibit, there's a gift shop, which is kind of sketch, you know. And then they have like these two massive ones on the different sides of the park where it's still a gift shop. And even like this one called like Shipwreck Rapids, where like you're on like this really wet ride and everything. As soon as you come out of there, you're walking into a store to get out. You have to exit through a gift shop, which is so crazy.
And every gift you see there, everything in the gift shop, it says it's going towards rescuing the animals.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, but what about the ones here? Like, let them
Like,
have...
wouldn't you guys have been done like 20 years ago?
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's a lot. Yeah. And just looking at all the animals too, like the rays, they were just like in like really bad looking tanks.
Murky water,
really murky water, and it was just weird. You have like all these like 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds running around, like, you know, showcasing these animals. People who don't, let's be honest, they don't have the proper training. You're not going to get the proper training on how to treat a wild animal in, you know, 2 weeks of videos, you know, just doing training videos and taking quizzes. Like, that's not, you know, it's not the necessary, like,
I'm surprised they're still open.
yeah.
I know there's been a lot of legal issues with that, you know, keeping whales in captivity and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was more like a sad trip for you guys.
Honestly,
At the end of the
turned
day,
into
it
one,
turned
yeah.
into a sad trip because I showed my mom the videos this morning because she just wanted to see it. And I started looking at, because I love puffin birds, I love sea turtles, and I started looking at the sea turtle, and I'm like,
They look
you're
sad.
in there, you're so
They
sad.
look sad, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, before someone wants to jump out and be like, oh, that's hypocritical, you know, but like, I just wanted to experience it on my own and actually go for myself and see what is happening and see like what's out there, how they're keeping it and everything. And now
wasn't-
that I got to see it, I'm like,
Because
wow.
she had never been to SeaWorld.
No,
that was her
never,
first time
yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah, I've gone once. It's been a long time.
Yeah, but I think just that one is enough.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know? It's I don't see myself going again.
No,
Mhm.
I think after yesterday, we're just like, I think SeaWorld's one and done.
Yeah, it's done.
How much was it to get in?
Oh, it was like $80.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, $80 and like 25 for parking.
Who owns SeaWorld?
I don't even know
have
who
no
owns
idea.
It's
SeaWorld.
not Disney, right? It's not
No.
Walt Disney.
No, no. But we were making a lot of Disney references yesterday. We
Yeah.
were just cracking up about that. But then at the end of the day, we're like, maybe we should shut up because like these
Yeah.
animals are sad.
Yeah.
Well, check this out, Evelyn. The High Priest, a.k.a. High Priest. Tell the folks that listen around the world, tell them where they could get a hold of you if they want to get a reading.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
So on Instagram, it's High Priestess Evee. That's, High Priestess, and Evee is EVEE. You basically would just look at all my highlights because that'll be like half the questions that you have there about booking, about what type of information that you're getting, how I'm going to be contacting you, and all those things, which is all through DM. I don't do phone call readings. I don't do email. I don't do Facebook or any of that. It's strictly just Instagram
So then it's all through.
through the
Message.
Yeah, the DM. The
So you're
direct
doing it through the
messages.
DM.
Through
Yeah.
the
How many people
DM.
are doing that right now?
Oh, I have a waiting list of about like 25 right now.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be extremely.
How do
like,
they pay? They
transparent.
pay you through Cash App,
Yeah,
or how's
Cash
that work?
App, Venmo, PayPal.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure.
So you're busy.
Oh, booked and busy.
Oh,
Holy shit!
she's
You're gonna be even more busier now.
Oh, I hope so.
She's
Yeah.
expanding. She's doing
Yeah.
her soaps, her oils, and everything. And
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about your soaps and oils.
Oh, okay. So let me show them.
Yeah, go. We got plenty of time.
I brought them.
Yeah, this is all about you.
So, ooh, I got.
oh no, the sin
Yeah,
in the bottle.
show the video. I'll be back. I'm using the restroom.
Yeah, of course. So I have 3 right now. Probably, by the time some people catch up to this episode, I'll be having a lot more. But I currently have 3 oils. The first one, which is my baby, my pride and joy, is the Sugar Daddy Tears. So just some background on that. I used to be a sugar baby for about 6 years. 6 years on and off being a sugar baby. I got introduced into spirituality and all these things a few years back. So this formula came out a couple years after my sugar dating. And it's been because every full moon or so, or every 2 weeks, I would do a candle ritual and, to set my intentions to have money come in, and to have my intentions to have more pay at my regular job as well as my sugar dating. And I just started looking into intention herbs and oils and roots that we can use to help bring good money in, and to help bring in prosperity, abundance, all those other things. So I formulated this and I put it together. And since then, every candle work that I have done has been extremely successful. So I said, why not just bottle it up and I could share it with others, and then that abundance will come back to me. Not just as people buying the product, but, just the good karma of setting my intentions and having people use it. So the first one is definitely Sugar Daddy Tears. Mary, do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Ooh, Sugar Daddy Tears. It came out when I was literally in the big bind, when I was running low on cash. I was just not getting enough work, and I'm like, you know what? I trust her enough. I'm gonna buy a bottle. I bought a bottle, and I actually put a couple of droplets on my keyboard at work, on my phone at work, my name badge, and work picked up. We started getting our bonuses again. We started, people that owed me money, all of a sudden came out of the woodwork. Like, hey, I remember I owed you $20, so here, I Venmo'd you your cash. Or what else? Gifts started popping up left and right. And it was even before my birthday or anything came through, and they're like, oh, here, I got you this because I thought of you.
Yeah.
It was just like,
So these are your handmade oils.
Yes,
Yeah,
these are
that
handmade.
one.
All of them.
Sugar Daddy Tears.
Yes.
Wow, and you made this.
I made that myself.
Wow.
Yes.
So what is this? What does it do? Obviously, we're gonna repeat it again because
Yeah.
I want to know.
Oh.
So what does this one do?
So that brings money in, and it brings in gifts.
Yeah.
So anyone who owes you money is eventually going to hit you up. Work is going to pick up. If you know, like let's say for example this podcast, you want more listeners, you set your intention to be like, you know what, I'm gonna add a few drops to my hands, I'm gonna rub them together, and I want 100 more listeners, you know, and soon
Wow.
enough it'll start happening. I've had people where they've won.
Do you think that? I mean, does it? Me personally, like I could put like me.
Yeah.
I've been growing my listeners.
Yes, of
I've been
course.
growing them, and Instagram, you can promote your stuff and do stuff like that. I've had one time years ago. I had the Spanish fly, or the Spanish fly was going around. But can you talk a little bit about what's in there and the part of, I mean, can we go a little bit deeper than that?
Yeah, of
Because
course.
that's crazy, dude. Like if I rub that, I want 100 followers.
Oh yeah. So with this, every herb in here, which I can't reveal too much, you know.
Oh,
Can't
okay,
get
yeah.
the secret formula out.
Yeah.
But
Keep that to yourself.
but we got some cinnamon in here. We got some star anise, some kitchen cloves, rosemary, honeysuckle, and cinnamon. You know, all these with the carrier oil, which would be olive oil, which is abundant. You know, a little goes a long way. With every bottle that I do, I set my intention for, you know what, I want people to really benefit from this, even if they don't use the whole bottle. You know,
What made you come up with that? Is that an old ancestry recipe or?
Well,
All these herbs are used in different types of medicine
Okay.
to bring in that abundance. So this is used in like pagan witchcraft and Santeria and like all these other religions. Like they've all like come to
Holy
terms that like
shit.
these herbs really do put in that work.
Wow.
You know, so I came across this formula back when I was sugar dating. I mentioned that a little bit earlier. when you were
Sugar
out.
dating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually had a sugar daddy for quite some time.
You had a sugar daddy.
I did, yes.
And you had to say that when I walked away.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I was sugar dating for about 6 years on and off.
And how does that work? You were using that?
Oh, this comes across later. Yeah.
Oh,
So I got into that because I was in a very abusive relationship and I needed money because this man was stealing my money, literally. So I had to come up with my own money on the side, and I was like, you know what? Let me give into this hustle. Let me see what it has to offer. And I met.
So you applied what you knew, and
Yeah,
holy shit.
Yep.
You know, using your terms
Who
of
was your
survival.
sugar? Well, I mean, obviously don't give his name. Was he an
Yeah.
older man?
Oh, they're all older gentlemen. I had more than one because I was like, you know what, like
How do you come about finding these people?
online, of course.
Really?
Yeah, online.
The dark
and-
web?
No.
No.
Not that dark.
No, we're not gonna-
But you know, there are websites for that kind of stuff, and obviously you
Wow,
have to
you
be
do
safe
that.
about it. You know, you can't just bust it open for a stranger.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I was just being very safe with it, and one of them was an accounting director for Paramount Pictures. So
Holy shit.
yeah, he was the type of like, just tell me any movie you want to get into, I'll get you there, red carpet. So
Damn.
Yeah.
And so what services did you provide? Is this like a transaction? Is it a relationship? Is it just
it's
a
like
business transaction?
For some, it is a business transaction. Like you get there, you show up, you do the stuff, and then you go home. Venmo, you know, no paper trail or anything like that, you know. And then there's some where they do want an extensive relationship, but they want you to be the secret hidden girlfriend, you know, the one that comes through on the weekend, and that's about it, you know, no questions
Wow.
asked after that. Yeah. So, and a lot of them, they run it kind of like doctor's appointments, you know. You don't have communication in between. You just come on that agreed
How much do
date.
they pay?
And,
Can you tell?
Oh, anywhere.
What's the most you got paid?
Probably 400 for a session, per session, and that used to be like twice a week.
So they all differ, right? So some
yeah.
of them you have
Yeah.
sexual relations with. and-
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
But when,
You don't do it no more, obviously,
No,
right?
no,
yeah,
I don't-
that
I
was a
don't-
phase.
Yeah, I don't need to anymore.
You don't need to
know?
no more.
Yeah. So when I was coming up with this formula here, it was because I started getting into candle rituals and all these other things. My spiritual awakening was like colliding with this sugar daddy stuff, and I had to commit to something, and I ended up committing to myself. So I started using all the money that they were giving me to making my business, because I was like, I'm gonna
Wow.
hustle these men right back, you know.
Do they still try to get a hold of you?
Oh, of course. I still get offers from time to time, and I'm just like, no.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't have time
So-
for it. I prioritize this.
You hustled the game to get to where you are. It's another form.
Damn right.
Yeah, I've had a stripper
right.
on. Yeah,
Yeah.
I looking for some, but it's a you got to do something. You got to create something to do.
Yeah.
You want to create something, you got to do something.
Yeah.
And you need that revenue, and you did that, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, I hustled these men right back, and I said, you know what? I'm selling it.
So now you sell that back to them. So you want to wish me back? Here's buy some of this.
Yeah, pretty much.
$400 a bottle.
But you know, with this recipe, like as soon as like my candle work started picking up, because I placed my intention.
Yeah, you got candles too, right?
Yeah, I placed my intention with my candles, and I said, you know what? I want this man to pay me $200 extra. I want him to hit me up for another session. And slowly, all those things started happening.
Really?
Yeah, and it was because of this blend of herbs and spices, and you know.
I'm not gonna lie. I've manifestation, thinking about something.
Yeah.
It does work.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It does.
I've been dreaming about doing this podcast for years, dreaming, and just thinking and manifesting it, and then now I'm here.
Yeah.
And I have other things that I want to do, or things I've done and I've manifested and I've done. You know, I'm not going to go into detail on some of those, but I've manifested things and they do come true.
Yes.
You know, whatever you fantasize about, you think about, that's going to take a hold of you. And if it's good or bad, you can make it happen. Like if I thought about doing a line of Coke and just thinking about it,
happens.
eventually I'm going to do it.
Yep.
You know, so it all comes with your thoughts. And this right here is helping you, right?
Yeah, and I manifested this as well. You know, because I didn't think it was going to be possible to slap my name on something and be able to sell it. And now people are, you know, there's some demand for this, you know, because I've had plenty of testimonials.
So that's good oil. So I want to manifest something.
Yeah.
Let me rub this on. Like,
Definitely.
hey, man, I need to start working out, or I
Yeah.
need to start. Let me just rub this on, and it helps. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. We got stuff we rub on our necks, like the home remedies that
Yes.
work. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Rub this leaf on you. What?
Yeah.
And you rub a leaf. You're like, because my lady's mom, she was born in Mexico, lived on the ranch, and did all that stuff. So she all she eats is vegetables and berries and like all these things.
Yeah.
You know, she like all kinds of grain, honey, and all this crazy stuff. And when I had COVID, she made this drink. It was garlic, onions, a couple other things. It was nasty.
Yeah.
But she
Was
was
it
like,
the
drink
purple
this.
onion drink?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
She made that.
A lot of Hispanic families made that. A lot of Hispanic families made that, but it's because
Dude, it
it's
helped.
something they learned
Yeah.
back when they were in Mexico or wherever they came from. So that was big in our community because I saw some lady hustling that remedy.
My mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were hustling that remedy too. I'm like, and people were like, "Oh, it's just being skeptics." Like, no, this is evidence right here that things our ancestors learned back in Mexico or anything like that work.
Yeah, so that one's supposed to be for good.
For money manifestation, advancement, career opportunities, and gifts as well, because it does have the sugar baby touch to
Yeah.
it. You
like
know?
a Spanish fly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it does have that touch
You
to
put
it.
that
so-
you put that on every time you guys go hang out?
Oh yeah, we do. We
Really?
we put on a lot of other different stuff.
So-
What'd you guys put on today?
Today I didn't
I actually- I didn't
huh?
put on nothing.
You didn't need to.
No, we didn't need
Yeah.
to today.
No.
The door opens itself.
Like
Yeah, there you go.
prime example. I even said this earlier. Like I used the sugar baby tears or sugar daddy tears. I put it on my keyboard at work. I put it on my phone. I put it on my name badge. Work picked up like crazy. We started getting bonuses we hadn't gotten in months, and it showed up.
Yeah.
People that owed me money came out of the woodwork. Like, hey, I remember I owed you $20. Here, remembered you money.
Yeah.
Gifts came out of nowhere.
Damn.
I would send her messages. I'm like, look who messaged me and they're getting me this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. But I even told her too, I'm like, mine's missing.
Yeah.
My bottle's missing. When
Your bottle went missing?
my bottle went
You're
missing.
using too much of it. And they said, hey, give me that shit back.
Because sometimes you can use certain things and they'll disappear on you. And they'll only appear when you truly need it.
Yeah. So she's doing good right now.
Yeah, I'm doing good right now.
Meaning
Disappeared. It's under your seat, car seat.
It's probably el duende. We call it the duende. The duende took it, like the little troll took it.
So how much is it for this bottle right here?
These here are 22 picked up here in OC, or they're $26 shipped. Includes a tracking number and everything.
And those are selling out.
They're selling.
Yeah.
Holy
They're
smokes.
selling.
So what's the next one?
The next one here is
This
the
is
little
cool.
death. Le petit mort,
Petit mort.
which is French for an orgasm. So this is for attraction. This is to break a dry spell. This is to have your partner more attracted to you. I charge these with a love deity, and she helps with
What does that mean?
like she's a goddess who helps me charge
Who's a goddess?
the person that I work with to charge these. Because I set my intention with every different
What does she
one.
do?
She's the goddess of fertility, love, harmony, beauty, and wealth.
It's a person?
A
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were talking about. I was like, get her on the show.
no, it's a deity.
Okay.
It's a goddess, and she helps me charge.
So you
these.
open a portal and then you.
Yes, and I ask her to.
How do you?
bless
Is there a
these.
way you do it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, don't do it now.
yeah,
But
candle
I'm
work
choosing it.
and you know.
Holy shit!
Yeah, communicating with spirits
And he fucking like,
yes.
dude,
pretty
that's
much.
crazy. It's like a
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, it really is.
No, I know. I believe it.
Yeah, so this is infused with a lot of the same herbs that we find in like sexual.
Is it glitter in there?
Yeah, it has some glitter in here,
Oh, okay.
and it's helped.
Is that what the strippers wear?
Maybe.
Maybe.
They should.
Yeah, they should.
They should wear these and the other one.
Yeah.
But this one is actually, it has a lot of herbs and stuff used in attraction, aphrodisiac work, domination work, and even some stuff that can be found in like sexual enhancement pills, like those gas station pills.
Viagra, yeah.
Yeah, some of that stuff is in here too. So
Really? Do you make them individually or do you make it in a big batch?
I make them in batches, so batches of like a dozen,
A dozen.
and then I just kind of wait for those.
That's
to
not
sell.
bad. A
Yeah,
dozen.
Yeah. So
But
it's
then you're selling hundreds of these.
yeah.
They're
it's not too
going,
bad.
huh?
They're going. They're really
They
going.
sell out
Holy
quick.
shit,
Like the
Yeah.
minute
dude.
she announces that she's selling, and most of us like we'll
She's
share it on
got
our
it,
story.
yeah.
We'll share it on our story, and the next thing you know, people are like hitting her up like right away, like, oh, I need a bottle of this, or I need 2 bottles of this one, like
Yeah.
that.
It's cheaper than cologne.
Oh yeah.
Oh
for sure.
yeah.
It's basically the
Yeah.
kind of same thing, right?
Yeah, and it works.
Perfume, yeah.
Like the first night I had her try out this because you know she's usually my guinea pig for stuff. So,
Yeah,
I really am. I'm like, okay,
Here, drink this.
for science.
so I had
For science.
I had her try this one, and we went out bar hopping, and she got so many compliments from like these older men, guys that she wasn't even attracted
Sugar daddy. You
to.
should have showed her the sugar daddy.
Yeah.
Give me some of that sugar daddy.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, I was literally a turtle.
Mm-hmm.
This is how she met me too in high school. I was a turtle, even though she caught me fighting somebody. She pulled me out of being like inside, and then I'm like, okay, so whatever she wants to do, I try it out. This particular night, she made me try that. I went out in a skirt, stockings, and a blouse that I
You can
know
smell these too.
I don't wear
Oh, I
that.
can
I
smell
don't wear that. And that night, I got
Oh, it's all over my computer.
oh my god, I got hit up by random guys. And it was just like crazy. And we're walking back to her car too. It happened here at Mission. Mission is the bar where you experiment at.
Yeah.
We just throwing people random little,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Little jabs.
little jabs. Were just like, oh here, just try this.
Yeah.
Because she
Kinda
also
like
has
a
other
settle
friends.
smell to it.
Yeah.
Both of them settle. They're settled.
That one smells like sin.
Yeah.
This one,
That one smells like sin.
I'll let you know. Hold on. I don't know. I think my breathing might be. I probably have to put it on, huh?
What do we call
I'm
it?
Scared to put it on though.
We don't call it like you know how you have the scientific method.
Mhm.
We call it the fuck around and find out. Rubs on your hand.
Which
see
one
what
is this?
That's the little death.
Yeah.
See what happens with your wife.
Let's see what happens.
How much
today.
you put?
Just a few drops is enough.
On my hand?
Yeah.
Just like one good squirt. There we go.
That's it.
No, a little bit more.
Try a little bit more.
Hold on.
Little more. There we
Ya
go.
la vas a embarazar.
So then I just rub it in my hand.
You just rub it in your hand.
Rub it on your hand, and if you want to, just go like this too, like on your neck.
I'm gonna
here.
on my neck
Yeah,
too.
go right here. Go like that.
And you gotta think sexy thoughts too.
Yeah,
you gotta,
exactly.
You gotta tell yourself that you're the, you know, you're the sexiest person on this planet. You really
Exactly.
gotta believe it. Yeah.
Oh, you gotta believe it.
Yeah.
Spanish fly.
There we go.
I'm-
We'll see what happens.
I want to be like that. What's that guy with the flute? And he starts doing the flute. All the rats follow him out of town.
Oh, is it Peter Piper?
I think so, yeah.
I don't remember.
Peter Piper's another term. That's what we call the people who smoke crack out here.
Oh yeah.
You could do the money one too if you.
The money one too?
Yeah.
So people use all this stuff, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
These are powerful little tools on their own. But I've had a lot of testimonials as well with like the.
No, I know. I've seen them. I've seen
Yeah.
them online. I've seen
Yeah.
people. I follow you. I make sure to watch. Do a little bit of research. But watch, dude. I'm gonna get sued tomorrow. Not just kidding. No, this is cool.
Just have like
Awesome.
intentions like okay, this is gonna come to me.
Yeah, like every dollar that I spend is gonna make its way back to me times 10.
Yeah.
You know? That's kind of.
You have to have a good mindset when you use these oils.
Yeah. No, this is a one of my favorite podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's interesting to learn about these things, especially the way I was raised, and you know, there's more out there, and they're not telling us.
Yeah.
You know, they're hiding things from us. If you're gonna sit there and watch the basic TV and the news and you believe it, then that's fine. Go enjoy that life. It's not a bad life. Go work for 20, 30 years, retire, do your thing, and that's fine. But for people that wanted more, like me, like that was it. It should be a drag, but I wanted more. I didn't know what I wanted, so I would take more and more and drink more and more drugs and trying to fill this void.
Yeah.
And that void is something that a lot of people have not fulfilled, and we go through life not fulfilling those voids. And you say, hey man, like this is what I'm destined to be, and this is what I'm gonna do. And I mean, look at what you have manifested.
Yes.
You know, people think that's a bad word. You know, oh, they manifested demons. No, you can manifest good things. And
Yes.
you
Speak things
manifested
into
something
existence.
that's, and in the end, you're helping people. You're not getting people coming back and going, oh, fuck, man, there's a gnome following me. Or, just,
Yeah.
you know, and you're like, no, there's certain ways to open portals and do these things. And, I mean, Doctor Strange is one of my favorite movies. That was, people don't get the big picture is that he thought he was the smartest dude. He knew everything. He got in an accident, and he couldn't physically move. But there's ways, you know, within your soul, your spirit, you're able to fix those things. And
Yes.
I mean, that's what the movie's about.
Yeah.
He had to humble himself and say,
Yeah.
hey, man, there's more to what I know.
Yes.
Because the reason why people are stubborn is because what they're taught, and they don't want to branch out. Like, we're going to that's fine.
Yeah.
But eventually, you're gonna get those people those kids or those young growing up say, "Man, this doesn't feel right. There's got to be more. There's got to be more." And I've been searching for it. And starting this podcast, I mean, it's put me on that right path to, you know, what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're helping people.
Yeah, because when I first started doing this with her, because I wasn't skeptic. I was just afraid because I grew up in the Catholic household. So did she. Like, we both have our, like, sacraments and all that stuff. The first time my mom saw Palo Santo, she freaked the fuck out. She's like, oh, great, my daughter's turning into some devil worshiping person. But then I started explaining it to her. I had to take it down to her because my mom's very old school. But I started explaining it to her. I'm like, Mom, you got to understand, this is stuff that's been here for the longest time. Like how she said before, even the whole church and everything. I'm like, this is just normal stuff. It's nothing bad. You're just setting good intentions. You're sending out good intentions for yourself, and you're giving out good intentions to people around you.
Yeah, because people just don't want to talk about it. Ignore it. They're saying just don't dabble in that. Just ignore it. But when you do ignore it, things still happen, and you start to question things. And am I crazy or what? And you realize there's a positive side of that.
Yes.
Yeah, there is.
You know, there's a positive side to handle those things.
And then now, like, my mom, she sees me do this stuff, and now her intuition has grown too. My mom's intuition has grown because our friend that we had a fallout with, my mom didn't even get to meet her.
And she just knew
She
right away.
picked it up right away. She's like, I don't want her here anymore. I don't care if you guys are in the front of the house. I don't care if you guys are in a car or whatever. I don't want her here. That girl there's something there.
It's bad news.
It's a bad news, yeah. Her mom picked up her mom.
Oh, yeah.
Her mom is good.
Yeah, my mom's a witch too. She just doesn't know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we low-key think both of our moms are some type
Yeah,
of witch,
they're-
but they just don't want to really acknowledge it. It's funny because
Yeah,
you
going
have
back-
that.
Going back to the whole thing, everybody has a gift.
Everybody has
Everyone has a gift, and this is your gift. No, you're doing good.
Thank you.
What's the next one?
The last one, this is my newest one. This
Okay.
is called Shield and Sword, which is for protection and reversal. So a big part of spirituality that a lot of people don't like to talk about is about having to defend yourself and having to, speak your truth and deliver like, just kind of like a defense mechanism, So
Will that protect your immunity, like getting sick and stuff like
not
that too?
not
Or
necessarily
more of
getting sick, but more like psychic attacks.
a
You
psycho
know?
attacks? Okay.
Yeah, so psychic attacks and like
People getting me pissed off, driving crazy.
Yeah,
That
this
just
is
help me stay calm.
yeah, this is more for like protection for like your own being, like your soul, like mal de ojo and like evil eye and all those things. So
Mhm.
this is more for protection about that, but also to send it back because it has to go somewhere. Something has to happen with it. So this helps you swing, your sword back and be like, no, I'm defending myself. You're not gonna send this negative energy on me without receiving some sort of consequence.
Do we have guardian angels?
Of course we do.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many? One?
There's so many.
So many, huh?
So many.
do. I personally think mine are already like, man, this bitch is crazy.
I believe that we all have a spiritual core, people who assist us from the other side. So these could be relatives, even spirit babies,
Yeah.
children that we've lost and all those things. We have pets even, spirit animals that help us. And we also have the archangels and all those other angels as
You
well.
have a whole team behind you,
whole
pretty much.
team.
A whole team.
A whole team.
Now, are you throughout the day? Are you working on strengthening your skills and
Oh, of course.
and practicing and doing
Yes.
things?
Yeah.
And it is almost like a chemist, like you're practicing on yourself too.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes, like, I'll have a session and I don't even need the cards. And I end up, telling this
Wow.
person what they need. And they're like, you know what? It's so crazy that you know that. And I'm like, yeah, and I don't know you.
Yeah,
essentially.
my podcast. I have notes. I showed you my notes, and usually when I get people in, I'm having a full set of notes just in case there's a part where it's quiet or something like that. But I showed you guys it was empty. I was like, no, man, I'm just gonna go with the flow because I do get what you guys are doing, and my listeners around the world, they're gonna be like, oh, you don't know anything about that. I was like, yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Because that's how I was raised. But like, this is really cool stuff.
One thing that I love that she does is that she'll randomly post on Instagram and she's like, I don't know who this is for, but you're gonna hear this.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
she'll-
I know you did something like that. I read it too. And I was like, I think that might have been for me. I don't know.
She does that randomly, and it's like when she does it randomly, and like I know I'm at work and I'm not supposed to be on Instagram, but I'm just like, what did she post? And then there she goes. I don't know who this is for. Like I don't know what she posted one time, and I was at work, and I'm like, okay, this is my cue to go back to work.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm at a
Yeah, it was like a message that came in for me, and it said, I don't know who needs to hear this, but you need to stop thinking about the negative outcomes, and you need to just continue on what it is that you had to do today, And sometimes it'll be very specific messages, like for whoever was born January 13th. I need you to know that someone on the other side, they're assisting you today, and whatever you're placing your mind on, they're going to assist you. So you need to place your better intentions and your better thoughts.
What do you think about those mediums that try to help the police solve a murder?
Oh, those
Is
are
that-
so interesting.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah.
I mean, is that something you think you might be able to do? I mean, is that a different type of skill?
Honestly, it's gonna sound crazy as heck, but I've had feelings where like I pass by a house and I'm like, you know what? I think there's a dead body in there. Like it's the craziest thing.
And then they find a dead body.
That
It
actually
has
happened to
happened.
me once. Yeah, I
Damn.
was shortly after the fire at my house, I was staying at a motel for a while, and there was this house across the street, and I was just like, you know what? Like there's something going on there. There has to be a dead body or something there. And then literally like 2 days later, the coroners were there, and like they had it all blocked off, and I was just like, I knew it. Like,
Damn.
that happened.
Sometimes
yeah.
I'll be driving late at night in my car, and I'm in a different realm. Back in the days, and the street lights would turn off as I'm driving under them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Does that happen to you guys too?
Yes.
Okay, I thought I was the only one. I was like, no.
we've been in the car because we have our therapy sessions in the car.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
our own little.
Yeah, we have our own thing, and we're usually talking about whatever's going on in our life, and the lights, things from the tree will fall, like little things from the tree will fall, and we'll just see them as confirmations, as something.
Yeah. But it'll be like specifically after we say something.
Something specific.
Like if I say, you know what, I want to sell like 1,000 more bottles by the end of the year, and then I'll hear like a tree fall or something, and I'm just like, oh shit, like I guess they're agreeing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were coming back from San Diego. We were just talking about something, and we just kept seeing the same number pop up in 3 different cars.
Yeah.
We're like, okay,
What number was it?
It was 333.
333.
333 kept popping up. in three different cars too.
3 different cars, but all relatively close to each other.
What does 333 mean?
It's kind of just confirmation from everything around you of saying, like, whatever you're thinking about, yes. Like, just like a giant yes.
You know what I do in my podcast? You know what I did when I numbered them? I would look up numerology. I say, what would number 1 mean? Or what number 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then whoever, because my guest would come and go, hey, what's the title going to be? I go, I don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
But we're done. So I would listen to it, edit it, and then when you do your title, I would say, what number is it? You know, number 21. Well, what does number 21 mean in numerology?
Yeah.
And then it would give me a saying, a meaning, and then I would interpret that of who I had on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would, most 99%, 100% of the time, they match up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They match up, or I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then I'll title it that way.
Yeah. So it's funny because
I haven't done it in a while, but I was doing it for a little bit. Now I just, this one I'll probably title it for sure. But usually,
Nice.
you know, my title would be Maria. I don't know, what was our title?
Maria, medical assistant.
Yeah, there
something
you
like
go.
that.
Yeah, that's something basic.
Yeah.
But this one I'll title it, but
Yeah, I mean,
It was actually interesting because, like, the last recent few days before, this podcast, I kept seeing the number 555,
Mhm.
which talks about massive changes coming in.
Mhm.
So these could be good changes or bad changes, and you can't really fight it.
Mhm.
These messages are coming in, it's because you need to hear it. So I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, whatever changes are coming in, I'm accepting of it,
Mhm.
And then it wasn't until today that those numbers
was that mean
stopped.
individually or is it worldwide changes?
No, individually. 'Cause
Individually.
You're the person seeing them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
So.
true. Huh.
Yeah.
interesting, huh?
Yeah. There's changes every day. Everything's going, it's getting crazier and crazier, you know,
Yeah.
and people are turning towards different things besides the media.
Yes.
People it's the year of the awakening, the Aquarius, right?
Yeah, Age of Aquarius.
So tell the people how they can get a hold of you. Tell them where they can find your stuff. I mean, this is really good stuff. I'm honored to have you girls here today.
No,
So tell the
thank you.
people before we leave, give them another shout out where they can get a hold of you.
Okay, so you guys can get a hold of me on Instagram at High Priestess Evee. I have all my booking info on my highlights, and then I also have my payment methods in my bio. All you basically have to do is just send me a message, be like, hey, you know what, I heard you on Raider and the Saint. I was interested in a reading, and then just let me know a little bit about your situation, your name, your zodiac, and that's all I need. I don't really need, the whole life story of everything that happened to you. Let's just see what the cards are trying to say. Let's just see what the cards need to tell you at this time, what's some useful information that's going to get you there. And also, if you want to order a oil or anything like that, ask me if I have it available. I'll say yes. You send over the payment, which pickup is $22, to have it shipped is $26, and we just go through with the payment method, and I'll send you the tracking number as soon as I can get it.
How about this? If any of you listeners out there, if you guys call in and mention the Raider in the Same podcast, she's gonna hook you up.
Yeah,
Can we
for
say
sure.
something? 5% off, 10% off, something like that.
Of course, yeah.
And try something,
Yeah.
and see what happens. Just let her know, hey, I heard from you from the Raider to Saint. That
Yeah.
way, she would know like this is gonna be a good outcome for you. So I'm happy for you. So once again, I appreciate you guys being here. This is a really informative podcast for me. And I'm sure for my listeners. I definitely want to get you guys on again.
Thank you.
And it's elaborate more and learn more as we go through on this spaceship we call Earth. Going through the galaxies and just trying to learn and be good. I mean, in the end, it's all about being good and being assertive. So once again, I want to thank all my listeners from around the world that tune in. If you guys want to be on the podcast or you guys want to get a hold of me, you can email me at theraiderandthesaint@outlook.com. That's theraiderandthesaint@outlook.com. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. You can look me up at Steven Gaxiola or The Raider and the Saint. I'm on Facebook and Instagram once again. Other than that, I love you guys. I'll see you next week. I got another special guest coming on, so appreciate you guys tuning in. All right, this is The Raider Saint, and I'm out.